Welcome to the Chain Out Podcast with your hosts, Jeremy and Daryl.
That's us, Jeremy and Daryl.
These two guys.
Yeah, we're here.
We're here again.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
Season 2, episode 102. And it was a little bit...
Still season 2?
Still season 2.
I love it.
We don't know how long season 2 is going to last, do we?
You make the outline, so as long as it still says season 2 at the top, that's what I put down.
Season 2, it will do. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we turned our clocks back this weekend here, Daryl.
We did.
And it is now officially glow season in Alberta. That's for sure. Probably in most of North America, anywhere that does change the clocks. So the sun sets around here just before 5 o'clock p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you thinking? Are you going to make an effort to play some glow golf this year?
No.
I saw you pause. Yeah. I saw you look to the sky and think.
I gave it some thought and consideration.
No, you were trolling.
I'm not a glow golfer.
No?
I think my perception in the dark is just gets thrown off. Like I find it hard to concentrate on a basket. Like I have no depth perception. I throw a drive. It looks like it's going to go in. It's going to go, and then it falls like 100 feet short of the basket.
So there you go. Well, you know what I was thinking was when we were out at Nationals.
Do you play glow golf?
I set myself up this week to go out yesterday.
Okay.
But then I got stuck at work.
Yeah,
and so I didn't go.
Excuse.
That's what I say. But I was all set. I charged my little pucks, you know, those little, what do they call them? They're flare pucks with the buttons that we used before. Maybe you haven't seen
them.
The
baskets?
Yeah. The baskets.
Yeah.
I charged my Halo. I put some glow discs. I brought clothes and just everything didn't work out. So I want to go out and try a couple rounds when the weather's still decent because we had a lot of fun at Nationals with the Disc in the Dark guys.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll check that out maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think I could rope you into one?
Like I went out last week. I went out with Dylan, Uncle Steve, and Tyler. We went to a modified hills layout. Dylan played safari golf on the 6 holes that are there that are left over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's frustrating because you can't see the trees. So when you throw a shot, you can see that maybe you can see a glow of a basket, but when you throw the disc and then it, 10 feet in front of you, I didn't even see there was a tree there. Yeah. Like I really don't get that part of it. So
gotcha.
It's fun, but.
So maybe I'll get you out for a round. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, we should shout out our listeners, and I'm wondering if they're playing disc golf or glow golf as well. But who do we have in the
we got the usual suspects. We've got Dino, we've got Doc, we've got Sam, we got Sonia.
That's who you see at least putting some comments out there.
The people commenting, yeah. Doc says the same thing. As he doesn't mind playing glow golf, but it's the drive home at the end is, depending on how dark it gets where you are. I guess it's not too bad for us because, like you said, it's getting dark around 5.
Yeah. That is fair. I would agree on that. But I really want to try that.
Sam reckons he plays cleaner in the dark. Sorry.
Yeah, well, nothing. If you can't see the trees, they can't get in your head.
That's true.
You just throw, and you probably just throw pure shots all night long.
Yeah.
But I really want to try those UFO lights too. I was trying to find that. I don't know where I put it when we got back from Nationals that the Disc in the Dark guy gave us to try.
Yeah.
So I want to give that a good review and see how they work on a basket. So we got to get out just to try that.
Yes.
But what's coming up on the show tonight?
A little bit later, we're going to be chatting with Jared. Now, we're going to get corrected on this. I was going to try and say it and not even comment on it. Now I'm drawing more attention to it.
Yes, you are.
We're going to be speaking with Jared Groenewegen.
Oh, that sounded pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's Dutch, but he can correct us. And learn more about what he's working on in Canadian disc golf content with his media company, Canuck Hucks.
Yeah, but before we got that, we got a bit of topic show to get through.
Yes.
So we had our Niska League over the weekend, and it went pretty well. We're doing this handicap league where every week you go out, you play a round. Next week you get a handicap, so everyone's evened out, and then it's based on the handicap scores versus then your actual score on the course.
Yes.
And so we had a good time out there. I tried something new. I just brought in my Zuka cart, I made sure that there was only discs 5-speed or lower. And I threw probably 6 of them out of the 30 that were in the bag or something like that.
How did that go? Did you feel like you were lacking in anything?
Well, the week before I shot a +4, my actual score, not the handicap score.
Right.
This week I shot a +3. So,
Well, we said that before. We went out there and we played Alberga. We
mhm.
played the whole course with just bergs only, and we played roughly around the same as we did with our whole cart. So I think, yeah,
You're going to give it a try this week?
7 speed and over are overrated. Yeah, I might do. I don't know if
Alright.
I'll go down as low as 5 speed, but
Maybe 6 or 7?
6 or 7 will be my cap.
All right, cool.
Well, I did the one disc round with the Thunderbird.
And that
I
went
do like
well
the
at
Thunderbird,
Rundle.
and that
Yeah.
went well. So,
But you
we'll
not
see.
only, but speaking of Thunderbirds and discs and always Innova, when we're talking about you,
Mhm.
you got a new Innova disc, didn't you?
I did, yeah. So Innova Canada, once a month is doing a silhouette contest where they'll put up a silhouette of an Innova disc. You look at it, you make your guesses in the comments. If you're right, Miles picks a random person from the winners. And last month, I guessed correctly that the silhouette was a Valkyrie.
And that
Yeah.
showed up. Nice.
And now that the postal workers are back to working, he sent it off to me. I got it this weekend. I just thought it was just going to be like a Star Valkyrie.
Mm.
Then when I got it and I looked at it, it was a Halo Star Valkyrie.
Ooh.
And then when I inspected it a little bit further, it was a Tour Series Bradley Williams Halo Star Valkyrie. So, yeah.
That's a good win. Thanks, Miles, for getting that out to you.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Well, and before we get to the tournament reviews that we like to do on the top of show, there was some great news that just came out from the PDGA. So if you haven't caught it yet, get over there and take a look. The 2026 Canadian A tiers were announced, including nationals. And for the last couple of years, our friends and disc golfers who work in the education division field, they kind of get a little upset. Nationals is in September.
Right.
And they can't go.
It's always back to
You know, Travis Bouchard, Duncan Holness, a lot of people we know, I can't go to nationals because school started. Well, not this year, my friends.
Joe Henderson.
Joe Henderson as well.
Yeah.
Because this year, nationals is going to be in Grand Prairie, which we know, July 24th to 26th up in Grand Prairie. What do you think about that, Daryl? Having nationals in July, not at the end of the season, but right in the heart of it.
Yeah. It'd be good for those people that can't normally get to go.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, we know it's close by. The long nights, I think, like with the sun up in Alberta and being a little further north in Grand Prairie in July, we're probably going to get dark at 11:30 at night.
Right.
So the glow golf will be real late if we're doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be good times. And we needed more time this year at nationals, and we'll get it in 2026.
Yeah. Well, like you said, we always like to do a recap of some Canadian tournaments that happened. This week, there were 2 tournaments that we're going to recap for you. The first one was the Bronte Creek Classic 28, put on by Simon Shaw and Chris Ozalins.
Wait a minute. It doesn't say 28. How did you know it was 28? It says XXVIII. Are you Roman?
I'm not Roman, but it's one of those things. I'm old enough to go. When I went to school, I learned Latin. Okay.
I thought you were going to say you used to have a sundial on your wrist, and that's how it was written out. But yes, go ahead.
So it was actually a 2-day, 2-round C tier.
Okay.
Now what happened was the field was split into 2. So you only played one day, but it was over 2 days. So you had the pros and some MA1s playing on Sunday, and then the other field was playing on the Saturday. So they both played 2 rounds on one day, but it was a 2-day event.
So they played 40 holes
40
on one day.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. And on the Saturday, they had a Halloween party for the players at the local Veterans Club. The event as a whole was a cancer fundraiser as well.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Over on the MPO side, Brian McDonald took down the win. He won it in a playoff against Chris Toe.
Yeah.
And on the FPO side, Alexandra Poletto took the win over Colleen McInnes by 1 shot.
Oh, that would have been a nice battle to watch for sure.
Yeah.
Well, if we head out west to Kamloops, BC, Stephen Porcaro, Kerry Neal, and Brandon Belanger put on the Junior Fall Classic presented by MVP Disc Sports. It took place at MacArthur Island, which is one of the courses they use at the Tournament Capital Open out there in Kamloops. The event was totally free, Daryl.
Wow.
And took place over 2 days.
Yeah.
Day 1 was a fun day where there were clinics, skills competitions, glow rounds, and even a costume party. And then day 2 was a 2-round sanctioned C-tier tournament. Steven, also known as Thummer DG on Instagram, if you want to find him, and his team worked so hard all year to raise money because they wanted this event for the juniors to be absolutely free, and they achieved that. They made that happen.
Fantastic.
There were players in almost every MJ and FJ division from under 8 all the way up to under 18. It only makes sense that we quickly shut out the winners. What do you think?
Let's go for it.
Okay.
So in MJ 18, Kobe Wind.
And in FJ 18, Emma Le Bourdet.
MJ 15, Wesley Darling.
FJ 15, Georgia Van Elberg. That's a familiar last
name.
Yeah.
MJ 12, Hunter Esau.
FJ 12, Reese Badinsky.
MJ 10, Ethan Major.
And FJ 10, Isabelle LeBlanc.
And rounding out MJ 8, Thomas Wheeler.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
For sure. Congrats to all those winners there. And thanks to Stephen Carey and Brandon for getting 42 juniors out to have fun playing disc golf in Kamloops, BC.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. We want to see a lot more of that. We know Bevy does it. We know that Alex Penny does it. And now Thumber DG's making it happen. It's how we're going to get lots more people in the sport.
That's the way to grow.
Start getting the juniors.
Absolutely. Going a little bit further south, the last event on the Disc Golf Pro Tour takes place this weekend, the Match Play Championships in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any Canadians, but it still looks like a fun format that we might want to bring to Canada.
You know me, I always want to add new things. I don't want to be the one to do it, but
Exactly.
I certainly want to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. So check that out. Let us know what you think of that. Now, in the FPO division, we're going to go over some of the matchups quickly.
Okay.
We've got Missy Gannon versus Silva Saarinen.
And then we have Owen Scoggins versus Paige Pierce.
Ella Hansen versus Katrina Allen.
And Holland Handley versus Kona Montgomery.
Over on the MPO side, we have Gannon Burr versus Vinnie Heimberg.
Then Matty O. Oram versus Ezra Robinson.
We got Niklas Attala versus Ezra Aderhold.
And don't call him the second Ezra, that's for sure.
That's it.
And then to finish it off, Chris Dickerson is going to be going up against Anthony Barella. So I think that's going to be interesting. And I think we want to chat about it more, but we won't do it here.
We're going to head over to our Around the Basket. That's where we're going to be doing it, Jeremy.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about who we think is going to win in each draw, and then maybe see if we can beat the random wheel generator.
Oh.
Random Wheel of Fortune even.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Join us live so you can add your predictions as well to the mix. We start at ATB around 15 minutes after the Chain Out podcast. If you head over to our Patreon, sign up for any tier, including free, you'll get the link so you can join us and head over there and watch us as well.
That's right. And I think we were talking about Patreon, hey?
Should we show?
Yeah, I think so.
We tease it a little bit?
Sure.
Maybe I'll just show the back.
You do your thing.
The shirt. So speaking of Patreon, we have our first official merch item coming up for our paid Patreon subscribers. We're going to be handing out these Chain Out minis.
With our new logo on them.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you to Kevin Pattison for putting those together for us. So we'll get them out. It's kind of our first little foray into something that...
Exactly. We've been saying we got to do something. So this is our first kind of dipping our toes in the water. But there'll be more to come.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, our most recent giveaway that we've done, beyond what we're going to be doing for our Patreon subscribers there, was the discs that Judge Havoc donated. So you got 2 of them here in front of me, and then we've also got another 2 beside you there. And he gave us 4 discs total. We broke them down into 2 sets of 2.
Yeah.
And we're doing 2 giveaways. And why don't we start with pack 1 and see who won?
That's it. Let's do it. Congratulations, 1976 Music.
Okay. I don't know who that is. Do you know who it is?
I don't know who that is, but it's a good username. I like it.
Yeah, that's right. It's got
a fine year.
It is like a wine. Things have aged well from that year.
So congratulations, 1976 Music. We'll reach out to you on Instagram. You have won a pack 1, which I forget what is in it, but who won pack 2?
Let's see. All right.
Congratulations to Jimmy Long Johnson.
There you go. Yeah. These are 2 brand new winners. That's exciting to see because there was a lot of interest in this post.
Yeah.
Gateway got behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
Judge got behind it, of course.
Yeah. Absolutely. Got some new people to follow us, follow Gateway. And I just want to put it out there right now.
Okay.
All those people, it was like 2 rules you had to do. You had to follow Chain Out.
Okay.
Or 3 rules. You had to follow Chain Out, follow Gateway, and tag 2 friends.
Seems pretty simple.
For the people that didn't think that I would check to make sure that the people were following Gateway and following us, shame on you, because your names did not get entered. Make sure you follow the rules. It's not that hard, but congratulations to our winners.
One thing I've learned about Daryl over the years is he is a stickler.
I'm a stickler for rules.
He didn't say do one of these 3 things. He said do all of these 3 things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we got our Facebook people in there, and we also got our Patreon paid subscribers who get their free entry as well. So they were all in there too. Next up, we are going to be just kind of probably waiting for our 500 subscriber YouTube giveaway. But we got to put pictures up because I think people are going to get really excited when they see it. Hopefully that'll motivate us to get to the hump.
We've teased it in parts, but let's put it up as a big post.
Yeah, we'll do that. So watch for that coming out next. Chain Out is sponsored. We got 2 great sponsors. BR Disc Golf. If you use Chain Out at checkout there, you get 10% off. And Brendan let us know that if you're going to be heading down to the Festivus for the Rest of Us, get in, get out, get rated tournament happening this weekend in Wetaskiwin, then you could put an order in with Brendan. He's going to be down there. And if you do it by noon on Friday and use the code Festivus, he'll get you free delivery to the event. And then on the Cardinal Disc Golf side, which is our other big sponsor, you can use the code CHAINSPACE out there, get 10% off your order. And talking with Kevin and Lane, they said they're going to have some cool drops as they continue to do their relaunch. So watch the website for that, and also watch for some Black Friday deals too.
It's going to be good.
Yeah. But we've got our great guest sitting in the green room there. You tried your shot at the name. I'm going to try it this time. We'll see what he really thinks about it.
Okay.
So why don't we do an intro? Almost all of our guests on the Chain Out podcast are PDGA members. Would you say so, Daryl?
I don't think there's been one person that hasn't been a PDGA member.
Okay. So that's no change tonight.
Yeah.
But tonight, I think, is our first guest that also has their own IMDb page.
Internet Movie Database.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
He throws discs. He makes great Canadian disc golf content and has even worked on shows that you may have watched on your favorite streaming services. Join us in welcoming Jared Groenewegen to the show. There he is.
What's up?
Hey, Jared. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Now, before we move any further, we want to thank you for joining us on the podcast, but come on, you got to rate us. How did we do on pronouncing your last name?
Who did better?
Groenewegen?
That's closer. So the actual Dutch pronunciation is Groenewegen.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got
we wouldn't have
I'm
got
not
that.
even that good. But the Englishized version is Groenewegen. Grew, like a plant grew.
Okay.
Na, wagon.
Oh, Groenewegen.
There you go.
All right. There we go. Yeah, I'll stick with if you're good with it, I'll stick with the Canadianized version because that one seems like it was okay.
That's the best way to do it.
Oh, good. Awesome. Well, thanks for getting us on the right foot there.
Yeah.
And then, so it is great to see you again. When was the last time we saw him, Daryl?
Yeah, that would have been when we were out at Nationals in September.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When you were in my neck of the woods.
Yeah, exactly. We obviously seen you out there filming a lot, and we was out there doing our thing as well. Since then, have you had a chance to get out and play?
Yep. I've still been playing at least once a week.
Okay.
Sometimes more, but less the last couple of months than previously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have like a 90-week streak going on right now or something like that.
I was going to ask you, as soon as you said you get out once a week, you're speaking to my heart because I'm working on a pretty healthy streak as well. So no matter what, rain or shine or snow, even if it means going out with one disc and running the course as fast as I can, I will put in at least 9 holes a week to keep that streak alive.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it helps that I do a lot of trying to make a lot of content, right? And it was when I started doing disc golf, it was just making content about myself, like with myself. I was the only person in most of the videos. Yeah. It's just recently that I've branched off into filming more of other people, but so that really started the whole drive to have a weekly streak going, because it was like, got to get out to make at least a video for this week.
Right. Yeah.
Fair enough.
And when you get out, when you're going out to make all that content, were you going out to the same course? Like, is there a local course that you have that you try and get to all the time, or do you vary it up?
There's a couple courses that I tend to go to the most often. They are more local. So the one right here in Peterborough at the zoo tends to be one I go to a lot because I think I get there in 10 minutes from door to course. And then if depends on the disc or like what I want to talk about as well, though I'll go to some of the shorter courses. Like Ennismore has a really nice wooded but short course that I've made a few videos at, and then I've started to make more videos at Oat Goat as well as going out to Belleville.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So just kind of working in that area. And of course, we got a chance to see Oat Goat, and we'll see a little bit more of it when we watch some coverage that came out, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Jared, at the beginning of our shows, we want to find out how you got into disc golf, but we just don't come out and ask you because that would be boring. So we get a little creative. And what I do is I come up with this wild origin story that by luck and chance might have something to do with your history, but it's mostly related to a movie. So now our listeners are going to try and guess that movie. You just get to sit back and relax and enjoy, and then we'll get you to tell us the true story. So if you're ready, here we go. Maybe you and your Canuck Hucks production team were out for a routine in the bag shoot on the shores of downtown Toronto. You thought it would be simple, Jack. You liked the idea of disc golf, but had never thrown a disc yourself. As a director who wants your content to feel real and authentic, you had the player throw a disc so you could get an action shot. The disc went astray and landed deep in the almost tropic forest over 500 feet away. As you went to retrieve it, you got lost in this jungle of trees and eventually stumbled out onto what looked like a fairway. You sensed something whiz by your ear and then turned just in time to duck as a disc flew right at you. You were now in the middle of a real live tournament. The players approached, assuming you were on their card, and said, "Hey man, it's your turn." You went with it and you threw with a thunderous effort, and the disc landed right underneath the basket. Who knew your shoot would turn so real so fast? But one thing it did was it certainly got you hooked on the sport. Now, maybe that isn't quite how you got into disc golf. So why don't you tell us how it really happened?
Yeah, that's definitely a different from how I got into disc golf. When I went to university, like in Virginia, I went to Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia, and was really big into Ultimate. And I was playing between 4 to 7 days a week of Ultimate, really big into it. But I had some close friends that did not want to play with me, but they would throw a frisbee if it was for disc golf. And so we would go to a local course and play a round of disc golf. And that was kind of it. I would just play every once in a while, not a whole lot. And when I graduated, moved back to Canada, I was where I was at the time, in southwestern Ontario. There wasn't courses. You either had to cross into the US or you had to drive like an hour or more. And so I didn't play for a while. And then when my wife and I moved up here, she wanted to get outside and go to a park, and there was disc golf baskets. So started playing some disc golf, and then with 2020, started playing more. And then 2023, I got to a point where playing Ultimate was like I would play on Tuesday night, and on Sunday night my knees were still hurting, and I was like, I think I've got to retire the cleats. And so kind of if I wanted to throw plastic, I really had to just had disc golf left. So
yeah.
Gotcha. And you know, when you say that, we've heard, and we've got some people in the comments, a friend of ours, Mark Thompson, is in there, and he also was a big Ultimate player that switched over to disc golf. And we hear that story pretty regularly. And the one thing about that is anybody who does it, Daryl and I are a little bit jealous because they come with a whole skill set of, you know, it's like you guys are starting from the 50% mark, not from the 0% mark, because you've got that skills, whether it's a, you know, a great forehand or maybe a good backhand or ability to throw Annie, those types of things. So yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think my Ultimate background wasn't that beneficial.
Oh,
I did play at a high level, but I were the guy who would run, catch, make short, really short but really accurate throws, and then run and catch the disc again. And so didn't have the big bombs or anything that a lot of the ultimate guys have, but I still enjoy it.
nice.
Well, Mark has a question for you, or kind of a statement, really. He's going to bet that Jared knows a guy called Aaron Kucherov.
Aaron, I
I'm guessing you don't.
don't.
Kurt your
I
way?
don't know.
No, there you go.
There
No.
you go. Proved him wrong.
There you go. Good job,
Have
Jared.
you ever played Ultimate, Jeremy?
No, I've not played Ultimate. I used to play in our sport and social club here in Edmonton,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd be out playing slow pitch, and then Ultimate was happening on the field beside us, or going
I've
to
watched it.
going to practice. So no, I've been around Ultimate.
Right.
I think maybe one time a disc went astray. I went to throw it and probably got in trouble. I don't know. Something happened.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah, it's a very different disc too from like an ultimate lid is drastically flippy compared to even some drivers. And so it's also like when I would play, it would take like 20 minutes of playing ultimate again. Like after I played disc golf, it'd take like 20 minutes of playing ultimate again to like get back, and that's how I'm supposed to throw, because disc golf discs are so different.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right. Those lids that do, I've gotten a few over the years since I've started playing disc golf, where you might get one as part of a player's pack or something like that, just to kind of share the disc sport love. And yeah, just feeling those. I haven't thrown them too much, but it is a whole different disc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, in doing our research, Jared, we've seen that you're on your PDGA page. We've seen that your first sanctioned tournament was just last year out at the Stones Throw Spring Open in Enterprise, Ontario. Now, that course, when we looked at it, it looks like it's a bit off the beaten track. How did you choose that event as your first tournament?
Well, so a friend of mine had to go halfway to Ottawa to pick up and he was like, it's going to be like a big drive and whatnot. And I was like, well, I'll come with you. And then we were like, well, let's see what courses are around the area. And Stone's Throw was like pretty much right where he had to meet the guy anyways, to get this computer. And so played the course, enjoyed the course, and talked to the owner and whatnot, and found out there was a tournament coming up, and thought, why not try it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And looking at that event, you played in MA3. We've seen that you got a chance to play with Nico Forbes, who was also in that division. I know we looked and we checked. You didn't play with him on any cards, but did you get to see him play that weekend?
I did. My friend played with him.
Okay, yeah. And
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Is there probably a reason why you weren't on the same card as him?
Well, the first round I wasn't, and second round I played the first round better than he did, so second round we were on different cards.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. How did you enjoy that event? Was that obviously being your first event?
I really liked it. Met some really cool people. That's been the thing about tournaments that I like. The thing about tournaments I don't like is there can be a lot of downtime, and that tournament is really bad at it with just the backups that happen. But
yeah,
it's still met nice people. I like the course. It's good. It's good fun. I'm competitive, so which is also kind of bad, but
yeah.
Well, I figured that course had to be pretty good, because you think about it, when, like I said, when I was looking at the map, I was like, okay, so this is Enterprise right here. Perfect. It's zoomed in. I scroll back one scroll. Okay, I don't really recognize anything. And I'm from Ontario area. I scroll back a second scroll. Still don't recognize. Third scroll. I'm like, am I in Canada? Right? It wasn't until I got far enough back and I saw Kingston that I actually realized where it was.
How far away it was.
Yeah. So it must be a good course to be around, survive, to have tournaments when you're that far out of the way. So
yeah, I think it's a good course. It's got a good variety of things. There's a lot of trees. It's mostly a treed course. But yeah, it's got a good variety of shots to it. And the owner and his son-in-law work really hard at updating the course and whatnot. And they look at the holes, and every time I've gone, like every I missed this fall's tournament because I was at USDGC.
Mhm.
But for every tournament there, it seems that they've changed at least one, if not two or three holes, just for mostly for the
Right.
better too.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, one of the
Yeah.
things we like to find out, and it's not that long ago, so it should still be okay in your memory, but being that you were kind of always doing ultimate and playing disc golf here and there in the early days, do you still remember the first disc or discs when you actually owned the first disc golf discs, what they were?
So I don't remember what the mid was. That the mid and the driver have been lost. I believe the driver was an Archangel.
Ooh, okay.
I big proponent, if you're playing Ultimate, only use Discraft Ultrastar.
Yeah.
But a friend of mine, like one of the friends that got me into disc golf, was like, you're not allowed to throw anything that's not Innova. And so for a very long time, up until I started a YouTube channel, I had only Innova in my bag. And then one day I lost the Archangel, but it was at Liberty, had their own course on campus, and it was kind of like an unwritten rule of if you lost your disc but found somebody else's, you swap discs. And so one day I lost the Archangel and found somebody else's beaten up DX Wraith, and it's the DX Wraith and then my JK AVR.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
did that DX Wraith make it through, and has it stayed with you ever since, or is it long gone as
Nope,
well?
nope. So I thought that I'd beaten the DX Wraith, and it was partially beat up when I got it, but
Mm-hmm.
I thought it had beaten into this sweet spot,
Mhm.
and then suddenly for about a month it was just really incredibly flippy. And one day playing at Viamead, which is a very very wooded course, in the fall, it sailed off, and just it I did a forehand and it should have gone up and to the right, and instead it went left and over the hill and into the who knows where. It's gone. But
So
I
it's
still
now
have
somebody
It's
else's.
now somebody
I
else's.
still
You've done
have
the
the
trade.
AVR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you still have the AVR though. That's
Still
cool.
have the AVR. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Your friend obviously knows what he's talking about if he said that you can only throw Innova.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but
Neither would
I
I.
think he has played once a year for the last 3 years, and each time is when I go visit him in Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's a
He's
good
not
place to go for a visit.
Yeah, it's a great place for a visit.
Yeah.
They have a really nice course in Myrtle Beach, is fantastic.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah. Well, when we know when you're not throwing discs, we know we can find you out on the course making content, like you just said there. Now you create disc golf content, but beyond that, you're also like you kind of alluded to it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You're a director, a writer, and a production assistant, all for your own original short films, and for well-known streaming service programs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
Did you first get interested in content creation?
Well, I've been big into the arts and stuff for a long time. I got my degree in religious music,
Okay.
and was when I was doing music, playing Christian music in churches,
Mm-hmm.
and needed to have a job that was actually going to make some money,
Mhm.
but that was also flexible. And that's when I got into film and TV. Started as an extra.
Okay.
So I started by doing background work, and then got connected with people on the crew and started working as an assistant director. And I also do a little bit of acting here and there, and yeah, trying to make my own stuff right now with writing and directing. And yeah,
That's
so that
awesome.
all started in like 2016.
Wow.
Okay.
So we mentioned there that you were a director, writer, production assistant. You mentioned that you got involved in music to start with. Is there any other aspects of production? Like, obviously, you're creating your own content. Do you edit your own videos as well?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
you must
so-
edit your own social media and then stuff that you make for YouTube and things like
Mhm,
that. But
mhm.
on the production side of it, on your short films,
So on the short films, the one I edited the whole thing by myself.
Okay.
A couple others that I've done, other people have edited, or like
Mhm.
we've shared the responsibility. And then
Yeah.
I've worked with some friends where I've done some stuff for them that I was Like I did one for a guy that I was a co-writer with him and the editor.
Okay. I might geek out a little bit here, Jeremy.
Okay.
So when you do your editing, what program do you use?
Big believer in DaVinci Resolve.
Okay. Yeah.
There is only one right answer, and that is it.
Not too many things you take a hard stand on, but that is one of them.
That's a hard stance. That's a
So
hard stance.
no
position.
Innova and DaVinci Resolve. Okay.
I like this guy.
Do you like
I
DaVinci
didn't
because
say
it's open source?
Whoa.
Okay.
Did not say
Don't be
no
putting words
Innova.
in the guest's mouth.
Okay.
Did not say no Innova. I just said I'm not only Innova.
Okay. That's fair.
I do have some Innova in my bag. Not a whole lot, but I have some in my bag.
Do you like DaVinci Resolve because it's open source?
Well, I like it because I think it is the best program. Just
Okay.
that it's got it. The only thing it's really missing compared to like Adobe is the AI, which I don't use a lot anyways.
Right.
And I do use Adobe for Lightroom when I'm doing editing photos, but as far as like the edit page on Resolve, it's the same as like editing on Premiere Pro, which is where I started. That's where I learned to edit. Had a company that they were doing marketing stuff for people and they needed some help, so they basically it was a paid internship to learn how to edit.
Okay.
But then coloring is you can't compare the two. Sorry. There's a reason that like every major film is colored on DaVinci Resolve. And so that's why I got into Resolve was because that's what everyone else is using for everything color.
Right.
That I talk to. And so that led to me doing that. And then that's now what I use for disc golf. But what I also do like for anyone who's looking at, hey, what should I do? You can try Resolve for free. And then there are paid options if you want to go deeper with some stuff, but you can do a lot with the free version of Resolve.
So I don't know if you've noticed this about me, Jeremy, but I tend to be like a one brand person.
Right.
So you know that once I found Innova, that's all I throw now is Innova. We're Cardinal sponsored, so we wear Cardinal clothing.
Yeah.
I'm a Mac guy, and I heard you haven't mentioned it. So all I use is Final Cut Pro. Why is how you? I know you were mentioning Adobe and Resolve as kind of the two front runners, and those ones that were going back and forth. And I know Final Cut has kind of like dropped away in the years when it was good. I know this is a disc golf podcast.
Oh, that's all good.
Yeah, we're on this subject now.
Well, why don't you tell
I'm
too
a tech
about
guy, so you're talking my language right now.
Why do you think Resolve is better than say Final Cut? I know you mentioned it to Adobe. I dabbled in Adobe for like a week and then just it was what I know was Final Cut. But why would you say Resolve is better than Final Cut?
Again, color page is the number one thing. The color page of Resolve kills coloring anybody else. And so there's a lot of just intuitive editing. I haven't used Final Cut to make a good comparison for the editing portion. But again, you're not going to color anything as easily or well with any other program. And like, I think I'm one of the prettier looking, not like personally my face, but like my videos are one of the prettier YouTube disc golf channels.
Okay.
And like, I think that's partially because I do use a pretty nice camera. But then I shoot in some version of log and I color it with Resolve, and that goes a long ways.
Yeah, for sure.
And probably a long way too, Daryl, from where you first got started with your editing as well, right? The first program you ever used?
I don't know how old you are, Jared, but I'm 49, so I like even prior to like computers being popular and like, you know, way back in the day when I used to just edit using like VCRs. Very, very, very basic versions of editing, but it's come a long way since then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I've seen some of that content, and that content still holds up today.
That was back on high 8 video cameras.
Yeah.
And very bad sound.
I mean, my friends and we made videos back when I was in elementary school, and I'm 36, so I'm not not quite 49, but I'm not a spring chicken either.
Right.
And, I started editing way back when on iMovie, right? But yeah,
Right.
then when I first got into doing it as someone's paying me money, it
Yep.
was Premiere. And yeah, like I'm a Mac guy. That's what I have. Everything I own that's
Yeah.
like computer is Mac, but yeah,
Some things you just can't. Yeah.
I use
Maybe I'll give it a
Adobe
go.
for photos. I use Apple for music, and then I use DaVinci for video.
There you go.
There you go. I'll give it a go one time.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, Jared, when we started out in the intro, I kind of mentioned that you're probably the first guest we've had on the show with an IMDb page. And it was
Mhm.
pretty impressive to see some of the projects that you've had a chance to be part of in one way or another. So what's your favorite non-disc golf related project that you've had a chance to work on?
I mean, my own.
Okay.
That's just me being, I don't know, selfish maybe, but at the same time, it's yeah, directing my first short film where like I've done a few short films that were a lot more run and gun and whatnot, but my first actual indie short film where we shot with a Arri Alexa camera and auditioned the actors and all that stuff. That was my favorite thing to work on. It's called The Coffee Pot. Can't it's not out for public viewing. Due
Okay.
to some,
We looked for it. I couldn't find it.
yeah, I could share it with you guys privately, but there's some issues as far as sharing it publicly, so can't
Okay,
do that
fair.
one. But
Fair.
yeah, that was my favorite. Like what other people would know, I not a fan of the show itself, but Mayor of one,
Okay. Yeah.
really busy but a lot of fun.
Cool.
It was, yeah, we shot that 2021, and so COVID was a big thing and whatnot. So there's a lot of extra rules and a lot of stuff that wasn't great. But yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that one. Great crew. And then on the acting side more, I was the photo double for Bill Hader in It Chapter 2. And that was actually like the best job I've ever had.
Nice.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and Jared, I
Yeah.
am a bit of a pop culture guy, and I like my movies and that type of thing. So I don't go crazy over celebrities, but it does interest me as you were talking about your editing and stuff. So with all of the projects that you've had a chance to work on, is there a celebrity that impressed you the most or that you were excited to meet, or you were like, wow, that was just a great experience? You just mentioned Bill Hader. Did you get a chance to meet him maybe, or?
Didn't get to meet Bill. So I was not their first choice for the photo double. Usually on a movie, if you have a photo double, it's like a one-off thing, and it's like either they're just shooting your hands typing on a keyboard. They just didn't have time to get that on the day, or maybe he had something on his hand that he didn't like, and so they get someone with prettier hands to shoot that because he like hurt himself on the weekend or something.
Okay.
But that movie, because of how little amount of time they had with Bill in Canada, I think I was on for, I think I did 30 days out of the 90 that they shot, because
Wow.
they would shoot him and Jessica Chastain from the front, and then they'd move on and go to the next part of the scene. And so then we would come back 2-3 days later and we'd shoot, and eventually it became like way later, but like we would come back and we would shoot the behind side of him.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's
So-
movie magic, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so unfortunately the first couple people they had photo doubling him did some things that really made him angry. So he did not want to meet me. But
Gotcha.
I think one of the things is, I've met a lot of people, and the adage of like don't meet your heroes kind of goes with movie stars. Like they're
Gotcha.
not my heroes, but like you meet some people that you look at these movies and you think, oh, that person's awesome.
Yeah.
And they're not. The other thing is, like, I've met a lot of people, but for me, one of the best was Kiefer Sutherland, really appreciate him. And he's got not necessarily the best reputation in the Toronto film industry. But I just found him to be so professional. And like, he was like, I'm here to do a job. And he expects everyone to be like professional. But he's like, I'm here to do a job. So I'm going to do my job and I'm going to do it well. And guy had the entire script for the entire season of Rabbit Hole memorized within like before we started filming.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you speak of him, just this with Halloween just happening recently here. I've got my kids are 19 and 16, and we just had a chance to sit down and watch Lost Boys, and it still holds up today, and just a classic Kiefer Sutherland. They were still quoting it afterwards. The only thing that's wrong with Santa Clara is all these darn vampires. It's just the best. But no, that's awesome. Thanks for indulging me there for sure.
Yeah. Well, many of us, when we try and look at our hobbies and we try and look at our work and we try and find a balance and we try and combine our work and our passions at the same time, and it looks like you've probably been able to do that with your company, Canuck Hucks. No. Okay, moving on to the next question. No. So how did Canuck Hucks come about? Did you have a clear idea of what it was going to be like to start with?
No. So I wouldn't say Canuck Hucks is my company. If I was to go and film something for somebody, I do it under the name Great Green Media. Okay. My father was known as the Great Green by his friends when he was growing up. I kind of took that moniker on for my own company.
Sure.
But Canuck Hucks was 2023. There was the strikes. And so there was not work going on in film and TV because of the writers and actors strikes.
Right.
And so I was sitting at home with nothing to do. And my wife was like, I love you, but you got to get your butt off the couch. And she's like, I know that like there's not work and you can't help it. So start a YouTube channel. I don't care what it's about, and do it until the strikes are over, and then you can drop it. Wow. And so was just like, I'd been watching a lot of YouTube, had found the Foundation Boys and was like, well, I think I can make some videos, and not like them, but like, I think I can make some videos. And I found a few other people that were making videos, and I was like, I think I can do a better production than a lot of these other people, which sounds really arrogant to say, but it is kind of arrogant to say. But
well, when it's the truth, I don't think it is as much. So
yeah, there's just some people I think they are very passionate about the sport, but don't necessarily put time and effort into making the product. And I cared more about making the product at the time. So I started doing disc golf videos just to do disc golf videos, and ended up, because I was making these videos and it was like, okay, I've got to find more things to make videos on. And it was, like I said, right at the time when I had been playing Ultimate, and I'd been playing Ultimate and was hurting too much, so I was having to retire from Ultimate. And so it's like, I'll start making videos about the transition. And in doing that, I found a community of people up here and really started liking that aspect of it, and that led into things like going to the tournament in last year at Stone's Throw and finding more of a community there. And it just that's what's kept me going more than the disc golf itself. I mean, I like disc golf, I really enjoy it, but the community aspect of it has been the big draw for me.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Jared, I was checking out your YouTube channel, like the Canuck Hucks one, and I noticed a crazy coincidence. As of yesterday, both Canuck Hucks and Chain Out Podcast had 465 subscribers. So It got me to thinking, does that mean that we've done it? We have all of the disc golfers who enjoy Canadian content subscribed? We're done? We found everybody? What do you think?
I don't know the answer to that. I have thoughts on Canadian media, and I don't think it's a popular thought, but I think a lot of times Canadians don't respect Canadian content makers, whether that be YouTube or music or movies or whatever. They don't respect Canadian art until other countries respect our Canadian artists. And I think there's a few examples where that's wrong. right? You know, you have the Tragically Hip. They were big in Canada and never really blew up on the American scene.
Right.
But you have a lot of people like The Weeknd, who was making music in Canada and was like this little itty bitty artist until suddenly he blew up in the US, and then everybody I knew was, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude's from Toronto. Like
he's been here the whole time.
he's been here for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same with a lot of like, just, yeah, a lot of things with our content and whatnot. Until it starts to blow up in the US, Canadians are just, we just think it's local's not as good, I think.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's
I don't know. I could be wrong. And I would love to have that
thoughts,
discussion if you guys think differently.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to Bevy, who's in the chat, and he says you're all great assets to our disc golf community.
Yeah,
So
and I would think
kind of
maybe
ringing the
that would
bell.
be part of it. What I would say in general with what Jared's saying, I can see what you're saying. We've seen it out here in Alberta with Nickelback, how they were hated in Alberta and then blew up worldwide, although maybe some of the hatred stuck around even after that. But I know in the disc golf community, at least what we've found is that like for us, with us broadcasting from, you know, having guests on from BC to the Maritimes to Ontario, and that what we found is that the people who do get into it embrace us full on, wholeheartedly. Like we went to nationals and we were getting hugs from people we've never met before, aside from through interactions online.
Yeah.
So I think the people who get it, they really get it. And it's just a matter of trying to, how do you get the rest of the momentum to join it?
Yeah. I think the momentum is the big thing. Once you have the momentum, then they're behind you, and we have examples of that with like Miss Frisbees, right? Like,
yes,
she's done quite well.
Yeah.
You need that momentum to hit, and I'm not trying to. Yeah, I don't take it as I don't like Canadians or whatever. Like, that's not it. It's It's just like, I think it's harder for Canadians to get started. And I think the big thing that a lot of people I've talked to like about Canadian content is they want to see the Canadian courses. They want to see courses that they can get out and play at. And like, there's a lot of people that I've talked to, they're like, they know who I am because I did a video at a course that they wanted to see that course.
Yeah.
And then I've talked to a lot that's like, that's the only video they've ever watched of mine was, they were like, oh yeah, you made this video about this. I was like, oh, have you watched any of my other ones? No.
But that was the one.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, that's a view is a view. That's great. Like, I'm not complaining about that, but that's, yeah.
Well, and Daryl,
that's
a natural lead in. Why don't you talk a little bit about the videos that Jared did too, that we took advantage of?
Yeah, no, exactly. And we were going to talk about it a little bit later, but we wanted to kind of extend a thank you to you for doing those course reviews for nationals, and especially having the course designers there, as well as having a pro play on the course as well. Because for the people from out of town, like we did a video, and one of our most popular videos is a walkthrough of a local course that we did here. So same regard to you, is that when we were coming to nationals, we wanted to see what these courses were. You know, we were effectively going to be playing them blind. And then, yeah, lucky enough that we got all 4 courses expertly filmed and recorded with a pro showing, you know, the pro lines saying, oh yeah, you just have to throw 400 up to the bank. And I'm thinking, okay, 400, so 2 shots, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But no, it was a great set of videos for us, or films for us to watch, just to get a feel of it. Even though, you know, obviously, like we said before, watching it on video, it doesn't really give it the full gravitas of what the course is like, but to have some sort of content out there and how well they were made, we just really appreciate it.
Well, I had a lot of people talk to me about that. I had a lot of, like, I had a couple, this group out of Quebec that they all came up to me and were like, man, we only got 1 round at each course, but our rounds were so much more like efficient at practicing because we had an idea of what we were supposed to do. And that was I had two goals in making those videos. The one was to help people that were coming from out of town and I was thinking specifically about out of province people who, like, you know, there's people from Windsor, which is like five hours away, that I know have did come up for a weekend before to practice, but people that are like a 5-hour flight away, they're not going to come for
No.
a weekend to practice one time, right? Like you're not going to make that day trip. So yeah, I wanted to help that. And then the selfish reason was I thought this is a way to get views if I can do this in a timely manner, because I'll at least have, if there's 500 people coming, I can at least try and get 250 views on these videos. And yeah, I wanted to talk to the owners. I wanted to talk to Gabe. I wanted to talk to Daryl, and they're both, efficient at playing their own courses. But I was like, that's not going to be the most exciting, and also not necessarily the most beneficial person to have throwing, where I thought, having Rebecca Don and having Jake Voskamp and Alexandra Poletto playing these, showing you how a pro would think about this hole would be hopefully more beneficial for everybody else. Like even if you are like you were saying, or like me, who it's like, I throw 300 feet. Like I'm not hitting your 450 foot line that you're talking about, but
lip up highs or what?
You need that flippy race.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, but I thought, this is there's stuff that we can learn from them. And so the selfish reason was use this as a way to grow my channel, which it did. I went from, it took me, it took me about 18 months to break 100. It took me another 15 months to break 200. And then, starting in July, because I think I posted the first
Cedar
video,
I think maybe
Cedar Creek video, I think was like July 5th or something like along those lines. And maybe a little bit after, but from there until now, I'm sitting at today, 470 is like meteoric in respect to what it's been.
Right.
So
whose idea was it to make those videos? Did Daryl reach out to you and say, hey, can you put some course design, course videos, walkthroughs together? Or did you just make them and then kind of say, this is what I'm doing?
So it's actually funny I had gone to the Project 15 Open and talked with Gabe of like, I have this idea that I want to do. I'm going to talk to everybody about doing them, but I'm at your tournament. I'm like, you're here. I want to talk to you right now about doing this idea. And I had just posted the In the Bag video with Martin Hendel.
Yeah.
Martin, so I was talking to somebody, a friend, we were talking about like people getting lucky. And like, oh, some people are like really lucky. And I was like, I don't think people are more lucky or less lucky. I think that the people that you like, oh, they're lucky. It's that they have recognized when something like a lucky opportunity shows up and they take it.
Yeah.
And by grabbing that lucky opportunity, the next thing happens.
Gotcha.
And I've been doing a video with a guy in St. Thomas, and while we're doing this video, all of a sudden he's like, oh, look, it's Marty Hendel. And I was like, cool. Who's that? And he's like, oh, only Canada's like highest rated player. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then we're talking with him, and he was like, do you want to see an ace? You want to catch an ace on camera? I was like, sure. So he threw, and I was like walking over to this basket that's like 150 feet away. He's like, don't go to that one. Go to that one, the 420 feet. 150 foot ace. That's not exciting. I was like, okay. Didn't end up getting it, but got a bunch of throws of his. And he was like, look, I got to do a In the Bag video. Would you be interested in filming this In the Bag video? I'll pay for your gas to come down again. I was like, well, not costing me anything but time. Like, sure, let's work out a time to do this. So filmed that, and then thought that it was going to go just to him. And he's like, well, I don't have a YouTube channel. So we were like reaching out to Innova, and Innova wasn't responding to us. And so then he was like, well, I just want it posted. So can you just post it on yours? So I just posted it on my channel. And so I had this conversation with Gabe on the Sunday at the tournament. And then on the Monday, Daryl reached out to me on Instagram and was like, hey, would you make a video of Oat Goat where you like walk through the course because you did such a good job on the Martin Hendel, and so it was kind of like he talked to me, but I already had we both had the idea kind of concurrently.
Right.
But yeah,
That's cool.
It's that whole thing of like, lucky opportunity happened with filming Martin, and then that was like, because I took that opportunity and took that time, well then it was like, well, do you want to do this in the bag, which is right now I have. And then because I did that one, well then I got to do all 4 nationals, and
and then you ended up on the Chain Out podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm on the Chain Out pod. It's just taking the luck when it comes, man.
Exactly.
Just step after step.
Well, it's funny you mentioned about the in the bag there, because we had Martin Hendel on last week, and we interviewed him, and we kind of talked to him about different things. Sorry, I've totally lost where I am. You did the in the bag video for Canadian Pro last week's guest Martin Hendel. You've also been putting out other Canadian tournament, as we mentioned there, the course walkthroughs, but you've also been putting out the MPO and the FPO final round coverage as well.
For like Ontario for nationals, you did that one.
Yeah, and then today we just noticed that you put out the Ontario provincials coverage as well.
Yeah. Just for FPO for provincials right now. So I had second round coverage for FPO at nationals, and I'm working on the FPO or the MPO final round coverage of provincials, but it's in the editing bay still.
Gotcha.
But it's coming.
Yeah, well, we know, just before if I jump in, I think Ryan Mon will be quite happy, because we had him on the podcast after nationals happened and we won, and he knew you were filming and that you guys were out there getting all that coverage. And I think we got no less than 2 or 3 messages from him. It's like, hey guys, do you know when that content's going to come out? And we said, don't worry, when it'll come out, and when it comes out, it'll be great.
I'm a one-man band, so I had my wife is very helpful, and she was helping at nationals to film. She was able to film second day coverage of the FPO. We had to kind of choose whether we went FPO or MPO, and she wanted to film FPO slightly more, and we thought, well, we also have we have Miss Frisbees, and we had Rebecca, and we had Paige Pierce, and it was like, so let's go do the FPO. And so, because FPO and MPO were playing different courses on day 2 and at the same time, so she was a champ and filmed that for us, and then we ended up getting both for MPO and FPO on the final day. But I'm a one-man band, so it takes me a little bit of time to make these videos, and especially for that, I didn't realize how much time it was going to take to try and make all the graphics so that people can more easily follow along what's going on, and try and do some cool things like popping up that they got a birdie or a par or whatever. And those took me a lot longer to build than I thought they would.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that part. I got 2 things to say from what you're saying there, Jared, but funny that you mentioned that, because we've had the Parked Pro Boys on before, Matt and Andre from out west, who had taken some time and done a lot of content that we had as well. And that was one of the things I can remember Matt specifically saying, was that he's like, you wouldn't believe how hard it is just to get a score up on a screen. You've got all of this content, but then to get the score up and to get multiple scores and the different things like that, and how much work in the editing bay that part is. So that was one thing. So definitely know what you're talking about. And then the other one was, you mentioned your partner Jocelyn there too, was on that second day. We had a chance to go and kind of catch the end of the FPOs playing at Cedar. And when we were out there, we caught up with her because she was filming, and then I think she was done, and we just kind of watched some of the other cards.
That was the MPOs were at Cedar.
Oh,
so
okay.
When the FPOs were done, we both jumped in the car and buzzed over to try and get a little bit of what was going on with the MPO and get some. I really wanted to get some interviews with the people that were going to be on lead card, because I knew I was going to want that for not just the promotional reels and let people know, so people knew what was going on, but also for just to start off the final day coverage, so that people kind of had you could watch a video starting off with how are the pros feeling coming into this, and what are their thoughts.
Yeah, and that was good.
we buzzed over. So I was filming, and she got to chill with you guys, and she was like, "I'm not touching the camera for a while."
Well, whichever day it was where she was doing some filming,
I think it was Hope Goat.
yeah, I caught up with her, and she was kind of wrapped up, but still had the camera. Like, she was walking around with it, and I said, "Hey, you've had the camera all day. Can I give you a hand?" type thing. And she passed the camera over, and I almost pulled my arm to the ground. So I've got some mad respect for both of you in the fact that people don't understand that part too. Yeah, okay, it's about lining up. It's about getting this good shot. It's about doing this. We've got to edit it. We've got to do that. But even just the physical strength just to carry a camera around for 18 holes is a big feat in all and of itself.
Yeah, the camera build that I have is about 10.5 pounds, which, like, you're like, oh, that's not. If 10 pounds isn't a lot until you're like holding it out here, and then suddenly it's like, okay, that's heavy.
Yeah.
And when you're holding it for more than a few minutes, you know, that 10 pounds over the course of a couple hours of a round is it's a lot.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned about deciding which card you were going to cover and making those decisions. When you go, like, for, say, Ontario Provincials, we know that was an invite-only event, but if you are looking at an event, are you ever looking at, okay, I want to play that event? Or are you thinking, okay, I'm going to give up playing it because I know I'm going to record the MPO and I might not be able to finish my round by the time that starts?
Well, so you mentioned that, you know, PTGA member, which, you know, I've got the number on the sleeve and all that, but I joined the PDGA to play nationals, and I was like, I'm going to play nationals because I assumed that they were going to have the Ace Run Pro guys come up again, because they came up last year to film the RIP,
right?
Which was the same weekend. It was at Oak Goat, and so I assumed that was what was going to happen, but they said it wasn't worth the cost, and so it wasn't until the Monday before the tournament that I found out, oh, they have no one doing coverage at all.
Right.
And so then it was like, okay, I'm going to try to do this and try and get this all out, which ended up being a lot more work than I anticipated it being. But also, it was a very last minute thing. And provincials was kind of something similar. Bevy and I started talking while I was at USDGC about potentially coming up and filming for provincials. So it's pretty new that I am doing coverage at all, other than, like, you know, putting a GoPro on my cart for my own rounds. Sometimes I would do something.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you mentioned about filming it for nationals, and we've mentioned it a few times that we were out there. We were asked by Daryl to do the opening ceremonies. We had our little setup. We had everything good to go. We had it all hooked into the sound system. We were good to go. And then, no, I'm not joking, it must have been like 5 to 10 minutes before we were about to go live.
I think it was like 4.
My camera overheated. Whatever it was. And then we were like, we need shade. So thankful for you to run over with the big screen, the diffuser. We all hands on deck. We got it set up. We put it up. We had the big poles. We got everything lined up. Managed to turn on. We tried your camera to see if it would work with the computer, the USB-C that we were using. We didn't have HDMI sort of thing. We didn't expect the camera to overheat, but that was kind of a bit of a panic for me. But thankfully to you, we got the screen set up, kept us in the shade, allowed the camera a chance to cool down, and then, you know, 10, 15 minutes after we started to go, the sun went down a little bit and everything was good. So we wanted to give a thank you to you for helping rescue that opening ceremonies. As much as we enjoyed doing it, we thank you for helping make sure it happened.
Little things. That was just a little thing. I had that already there from when I was doing the interviews of the pros before.
Yeah,
that was I wanted to do something press conference-esque. Yeah, and I wasn't able to get anyone else coming out to ask questions with me, but I ended up getting a whole bunch of pros and making a video. So I had the gear there already, and it was like, just move it over.
Yeah. Well, and kudos to you, because we did talk about that and you made that happen. So you did a lot of good content. So what we want to do is tell everybody, get over to Canuck Hucks, take a look and see what you've put out there, and that there's more coming. Well, we won't say much more, but Thomas Gilbert was on recently and he let us know that you had filmed some stuff with him down at USDGC and that you guys are going to do a shared release, a 50-50 release. So we can't wait for that to come out. So
that's also in the editing bay. It's in the pipeline, but that one should be quick. It was recent. And then that's probably the next thing to do. I've also waiting on some voiceover from Sophia for I was able to film her at USDGC, so hopefully got some voiceover coming from her any day, and can throw that on the video and put that one out there for people. But yeah, and I think so I have a question for you guys. As like we're talking about Canadian content makers and stuff, and what do you think where do you think is the need for media in Canada with disc golf? Because I think that's the biggest thing is there's so many hours of disc golf YouTube channel like videos being added every day from around the world, right? Like, so where's the actual need? Where's the hole?
Do you want to start?
Sure, I've got a thought on this.
You go ahead.
So I would say there's two aspects to look at. I think for your hardcore disc golf fans that like to play tournaments, and I think we kind of, maybe you can either reach out or we can put in contact with the Park Pro boys, because like Jeremy mentioned, they did it last year. They went and filmed every A tier across Canada. They drove up to or flew up to the Yukon. They went out and
they went all the way out to New Brunswick. Or PEI.
PEI. They did Victoria, or Vancouver, BC even. So they filmed everything. They did it all last year. This year, life got in the way. Life, obviously, the money's not rolling in making Canadian disc golf content. So to do all of that, the tournaments weren't able to step up as much as they did the year before. This year, they were going to do nationals, but they pulled out in the end. So we mentioned to them and said, well, isn't there anything, can't you fly out your equipment to somebody in Eastern Canada and just get them to film it? Or can you get them to film it and then send you the videos or whatever, working somewhere together to get the East and the West content? Now, I think it's hard for one company. So, looking at you, it would be hard for you to fly to the Yukon and BC to make this, to cover every A tier, whereas it's hard for them to fly out from Edmonton and Kamloops area to nationals or go to wherever, or PEI, to film that content. So I'd say one aspect of what Canadian disc golf content means is to cover the A tiers, because I think the people want to see those tournaments, because we talk about them. We do our fantasy league. We talk about the A tiers. People follow the A tiers across Canada. So I think that could be one aspect of, content to make. The other, and we've had it brought up in the chat already. You look on YouTube about disc golf, what are popular is what the things that Foundation are doing. They're doing the Imposter series where they have content creators together. They're sponsored by, a manufacturer. They get it filmed in a weekend or however that might be. They did an amazing.
I was talking to them at USDGC. I think that took them a week. And then
I know they had a house.
It took them 4 months to edit that with a team of 4 editors.
Right. Really? Wow.
Yeah.
And they've got So I mean, they had a lot more cameras. They, they did an Amazing Race series a while ago, last year, I think, where different teams were set off at different times. So they had camera crews. I think they actually recorded it themselves. I think they were trusted with a camera. They had to film it. So those style of videos, I think, would work. Those sort of content, those fun videos that are set over a series of maybe 8 weeks, and you release a video a week. The generic content of, hey, I'm going to throw these discs around this course. I just got a brand new disc. Watch how it flies. I think we've all seen videos of how the Star Fox flies and how the new Sweep flies and, the new disc from Insert Pro. I think that content can be watered down and it's not necessarily Canadian specific, but that's my thoughts anyway. Coverage and good content creation based on a TV
even
show.
with that coverage, like looking at Parked Pro, like they only have 3.8 thousand subscribers.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's
Which
kind of huge for what our Canadian stuff has,
yeah,
unless you're looking at Miss
but
Frisbee's as
it's
maybe the leader. But
that's not huge as
No.
far as like Miss Frisbee says 14.6. That's just not huge as far as like
and that,
making money and stuff like that, and making it viable is really like, whereas like I just did a review video of the prototype driver from Discape that they sent me, right? And like that I just made one with the Joy from I just filmed it with the Joy. I haven't released it yet, from Paige Pierce.
Right.
Which awesome disc. She knows what she's doing. But that one, it cost me $20, right?
yes,
The video cost me $20, and that video I can edit and get out
quickly,
in probably 3 hours, 4 hours. I could probably edit it all in 3 hours.
Yeah.
With the technical difficulties I had, like, it makes sense. Whereas like going to provincials, that was gas. That's then now I'm eating out because like I'm not at home for 16 hours, I think, as we were gone, right? So I'm eating out. That was just just Championship Sunday. That's not doing any hotels and stuff like that for coverage. Like to do what Parked Pro is doing, like that requires money, and that's where I'm like wondering about the need of like, where is the actual need that's going to, because if there's a need, it will be viable.
I think if you're looking at it from a Canadian point of view, then I don't think there's any money in it. I think if you're making content that's YouTube friendly and is going to be watched by anywhere, we need to, think more outside of Canadian content and just make content that's going to be watched by anybody.
Yeah, but I think
like, so that's where I'm saying, like, what do you think that looks like for a Canadian content creator, right? Like, what's that going to look like? Where do you think that?
Yeah, I would say, I think what you're saying there too, Jared, from it is that what we got into this for was, you got to start somewhere, and there wasn't much for Canadian content. Like, we went to search for it. Why aren't people talking about, people are talking about Miss Frisbee's and Thomas Gilbert, but why aren't they talking about Miguel Alvarado or Gabby Lee or Brian Freese out of Manitoba? So that was our intention. And I think we've achieved that with the 2 years of doing that. So getting that part out there. But I do think, the course playthroughs that we do, even if they're just the ones that are local, when you're not here or you're looking to come out to Edmonton, say, for example, you're going to say, well, what courses are out there? Is there any content on them? And then hopefully you stumble across our stuff and it becomes timeless, right? Because what you filmed for Canadian Nationals as a course playthrough, that can be watched today. It could be watched before Nationals, and it can be watched 2 years from now. And as long as the course hasn't drastically changed, that content is still relevant. So I think there's space for that for sure. And I think a lot of people, and obviously by the view counts you're getting, even though they're not tens of thousands of views, maybe over time they do become that.
Well, and I don't want this to just be about like, but like I'm saying, like, for viability too, of like that's where I'm saying about the doing the lead card, or like the coverage, tournament coverages, is like, that's not a viable thing to do unless the tournament does have money to put behind it, which most of the tournaments I've talked to don't, because from what I've heard from the tournament directors, is there's not enough return on that investment. Having Parked Pro having 3,000 views for the BC Open from last year,
right?
That's not enough for them to say, this is worth $1,000.
Do you think there's something to be said for, and it just comes back to what you said earlier about there is no lucky people, there's people that grab those lucky opportunities. And I think we kind of fall into the same boat, maybe not on the same level, but we've done this podcast, like Jeremy said, for 2 years. and we're definitely, we're not making money. We're definitely lost money every episode we do. We
Right.
do it as a hobby. We know that we
Mhm.
put money out there to do this and to promote Canadian disc golf, and to, like Jeremy has mentioned it before about, we could sign up for a bowling league and pay $40 a month, or we
Mhm.
could pay for the software and everything that we do to make this, and still be that $40 down.
Right.
However, if we hadn't been doing the podcast for a year and a half, we wouldn't have been presented with the opportunity to be able to go out to nationals and do the opening ceremonies. So
Right.
you spend that money and it's not viable, but in the long
Right.
term, hopefully you get more opportunities, and maybe who knows what that looks like in the future. So
Mhm.
yeah,
And that's
the
where I'm
return
at right
isn't
now.
seen. Yeah, isn't seen in the beginning.
That's where I'm at right now. I'm just, as far as like doing the nationals, going down to USDGC, like that cost a fair amount of
Yeah.
money, right? And like I look at it and say, not that it's not saying it's not worth doing things like as one-offs, but I'm saying like there's no way that I can look at next year and say I'm going to even film every A tier in Ontario,
Right.
because my wife is a paramedic. She's
Mhm.
paid pretty well. I work in film and TV. I'm paid pretty well for when I work. But now you're talking time off, and you're talking
Yeah.
like it takes however much time to edit these videos and this, that, the next thing. So that's more time off than I need, and there's just no way that I can that's financially sustainable. So where do you think the media is that is more financially sustainable? Because I'm not
Yeah.
against doing these opportunities, but
Mhm.
that's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
at the same time, these opportunities can cost money, and that's where I'm saying like filming for release costs me, that if I'm spending $60 a month on plastic, like, yes, it's not free, but $60 a month on plastic compared to, which I really don't, not looking to keep doing, because I have way too much plastic in my house right now. But like at the same time, it's like that's way more sustainable than even saying like going to provincials. That was 60, like a little bit over $60 by the time we drove, like paid for gas and paid for food.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what I think this leads to me, Jared, is I've been talking with Daryl about having some conversations with tournament directors and having some kind of roundtable discussions in that respect. And I bet you there's space for us to take this conversation into that realm and do a roundtable with content creators in Canada, and put our concentrated efforts the same way we did with nationals, to make sure that we all put our coverage together to give the best experience, because one of us by ourselves couldn't do it, but as a collective we could. So I think that's good.
Yeah.
But I do want to kind of take us along the line, because we're kind of getting towards the end of the time we've got for you, Jared. And I mentioned earlier, Daryl,
Yes.
that Jared has written some short films. One of them is about 4 friends who deal with the loss of their father, mentor, and boss. And I will need to see where we can watch it again. It's kind of a little bit off to the side there, but it came out in 2024 and it's called Shipwreck. So I'm not sure, but it may actually involve an island, Daryl.
It might just, Jeremy.
So
Picture this. You've taken a relaxing cruise, however the ship goes down. You manage to swim to an island, and fortunately for you, there's an 18-hole disc golf course. Which 3 discs are you taking with you on the island?
Sorry, that's one of my patented segues there, but we kind of got over top of you, so go right ahead.
I was just going to say that video you're talking about, that was something called the 48-hour film challenge, where you get given a character, a prop, and a line of dialogue that you have to use.
Oh.
And then you get given a genre. And so that was written for that.
Okay.
So that's not a huge fancy film by any means. That was literally like written, directed, produced, and submitted within 48 hours. As far as 3 discs.
I'll give you the intro. I'll give you the intro. So you're on this ship, and the ship goes down. Luckily for you, you have your backpack and you have these sacred 3 discs with you. They can be any discs, but you managed to swim to an island, and luckily for you, you just happen to show up on the only island with an 18-hole disc golf course Which 3 discs do you have
Right.
with you?
So 3 discs is difficult. First off, like partially it depends on what kind of course am I playing here, because is it a shorter course or is this like a longer course?
So this fictitious
And
course
then
can be anything you want it to be.
yes. Oh man, you're not making this any easier at all, Daryl.
This
Well,
is so
first I'm
good
going to
when
say
people
the
put this
tempo.
much effort into these discs. Sorry, tempo.
The tempo.
Yes.
Yeah, big fan of the zone. Big fan of the tempo.
Okay.
And
Any
the
particular
tempo,
plastic?
tempo doesn't matter.
Okay.
I have every single version of the tempo except for the stock run, and they all throw identical.
Oh,
And
that's
I don't have the
awesome.
stock run because the circuit challenge one that came out, the first release of the tempo, is
Yep.
basically what they have for the stock run. So,
Okay.
but
Gotcha.
they all throw the same. And I putt with a tempo slightly better than with a zone.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
it's got to be one of them, probably going to choose the tempo. Then for driver, I'm going to go with the inertia. I love the inertia.
Okay.
And I don't think it's any more like my best disc, but I love it. And I can make that thing go kind of overstable or a little bit flippy. I can get it to go really straight. I have it really
Mhm.
straight for a driver. Love the inertia.
And again, I'll ask
And
you
then
any type of plastic.
I throw that in a proton
Plastic. Okay.
inertia.
Yeah.
And then, oh man, third disc. This is really hard. Discs, like my bag is fairly set, but it's not. In that, like things
Yeah.
still come in and out. I have a lot of plastic.
You could bring your Discraft Ultimate disc even if you wanted.
Or how
No.
about the Joy?
Yeah, let's do the Joy. That was a great disc. That I did the made the video with it with a friend on Sunday,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is living in my bag.
Wow.
What are the numbers on
Yeah.
it?
They 4500, and I would say it's like the
Oh.
truest 00 I've ever thrown.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
It's the
So
most actually stable disc I've ever thrown.
all
Cool.
right. So you're gonna take a tempo as a putter, and also
Mhm.
kind of an approach disc as well. You're gonna take the Joy,
Mhm.
and then you're
Mhm.
gonna take an inertia in proton plastic as well.
Mhm.
All right. So then you're
Joy is
asking.
hard though too, because you're asking now. It doesn't, like, the Joy's great, but it doesn't work. You know what I need? What I actually need there in my bag, I need something overstable. So let's actually overstable, because the tempo is a little overstable. But so let's throw in the Hoya by RPM.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, I
Well,
think that's the first mention for a RPM disc.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and Sam, in our one of our listeners who's in the comments, he loves discs from non-traditional or not the most popular manufacturers. So he's going to be happy
Mhm.
to hear that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we'll
it's
revamp it. Yeah.
it's basically like a slower Firebird. They
Okay.
list the numbers as 7502. I promise you, it's not a 02. I gave it to a guy who he's MP40,
Mhm.
but like he's a really good guy, like really good player. He throws like 500 and something feet. He threw it and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's an 02," and all of a sudden it just like dive bombed to the left, and he goes, "Oh no, that's an 04."
Yeah.
And like I said, like he throws 500 feet and he threw it, and at like 300 feet it just left.
Wow.
Really overstable 7-speed, but it's beauty. It's a beauty.
Yeah. So yeah, Jeremy was talking about Sam. He says he loves his Hoya. So all right, so revamped. We got a tempo, we've got a Hoya, and an inertia. And then you mentioned about what type of course it could be. This is the bonus question. If you could take any one course that you've either played, you haven't played, or is on your bucket list to play, if you could transport one course to this island that you could only play with those 3 discs, which course would you transport to the island?
Oh, it would kick my butt, but Old New London. Haven't played
Okay.
New London yet. wanted to. We stopped by, but they were doing an event there because of it just happened that when we were going through was the same time as the tour championships.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so they had an event going on. So New London was shut down for that. Really, really sad. But Old New London, favorite course I've ever played.
Yeah.
Nice.
It'd be terrible with just those 3 discs. I would not do well, but
You'd have plenty of time to
course.
practice.
By the time you got rescued, you'd have it mastered.
I'm sure.
There you go.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Jared, it's been great talking with you tonight. Now, before we let you go, we want to give you a moment. Is there anything else that you want to shout out, or is there anything that we didn't cover that you wanted to quickly touch on?
Not like, no, I think there's nothing that we didn't cover that I think we should have or anything like that. We'll make a quick shout out. We talked about, doing Canadian courses and whatnot. So I got to shout out my friend Corwin Andrews, Forest City Frolfer. He is doing a course collector series where he is trying to play as many courses as he can.
Okay.
And he's doing all sizes. He's done some like 8 and 9 hole courses all the way up to like the 24 hole courses. And
Right.
yeah, he's making his way through Ontario right now.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, while you shout him out, we'll let you know is talk to him, and you can tell him to connect with some Saskatchewan players in Arlen Darby and Jerry Ann Brownbridge. And the two of them, they are on a similar mission where they tried to play they have actually, except for one remote course in Saskatchewan, they were able to take off their list. And that's how they enjoy their holidays. That's how they enjoy their long weekends. So I'm sure if we connect them, they'll have a lot of good tips for each other on how to do it right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
How many courses is that in Saskatchewan?
Oh, it's over 100. That's
Was
for
it?
sure. I want to say it was, yeah.
Okay.
But it was whatever it was impressive. But their number of total courses is up quite a bit, and I think it was Jerry Ann might have celebrated her 30th this year, so they went on. That's how they celebrated it, was going out to get a whole bunch of other courses off the list. So no, that's awesome. Well, we'll look him up too, because I think you just you have a video on Canuck Hucks with him as well. Do you?
I do. Yeah. So he's from London, Forest City,
My hometown.
and he came down, and I'm from originally Chatham, Kent, so he came down to Chatham to do a video with me there, and that was one of his. He was like, I got to collect this course anyway, so let's do a video.
That's awesome.
2 things just to finally round it out. As of July this year, they were at 300 courses.
Yep.
And then you mentioned earlier about the Discape discs. We did we did a lot of things with I forget the guy's name. Ned in the beginning when they
Ned's
were
a great guy.
we interviewed Ned when they were bringing out their discs and everything like that, and he actually sent us the prototypes as well. How do you think they fly? I'm thinking, I would say the numbers are like 11.502, 11.503.
Okay, I said 11. Well, you should watch the video, but in the video,
we will watch it.
I did.
11.4-1.2. I did get a little bit, even with my noodle. I got a little bit of flip up out of it, not a lot, but enough that I said, okay, it's got a little bit of it. And then it was fading out where I thought, so I threw it against a Wraith, and I found the Wraith had a little bit more glide than the prototype did.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought it was just a 4 instead of a 5. I felt it was not pushing as far forward.
Gotcha. I think that shows you the difference between a 36-year-old and a 49-year-old, because I couldn't get it to flip up with my noodle arm. It was going straight, but it was dumping pretty hard. So there you go.
That brings up the next. There's a few things I'm passionate about. There's a number of things I'm passionate about, and one of them is the actual like noodle arm thing of like, you cannot tell me that I have less strength than Silva Saarinen. Okay, I saw her in person. She is not big.
Yeah,
all right, but she can outdrive me, and it's 100% about.
Technique.
I mean, you have you have fast twitch muscles and stuff, but it's technique more than anything else. My technique is not good, and that's really where the noodle arm comes from. Okay,
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And when you say that too, you forgot to mention one thing with Silva there. From a standstill, she does that for a number of her throws.
Yeah.
Right,
and same like Owen Scoggins, like tiny little woman, and she outthrows me. It's I'm doing something wrong.
There's something about a connectivity of the motion of the muscles, right? So, and we don't have it yet.
No, we don't have it.
We'll give it some time though.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good.
Well, we appreciate you coming on the podcast, Jared.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we enjoyed our time talking to you. We hope, hopefully, we won't see you. Hopefully, it's not too long until we see you again next time. Is what I'm trying to say.
Hopefully, I don't.
Hopefully, we don't see you soon. I think that's the wrong line.
I paused at the wrong point. Hopefully, it's not so long until we see you next time.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's before nationals.
Yes.
Well,
I do get out to London every once in a while, and if I'm out in the area, I know it's not quite by Peterborough, but if I fly into Toronto, I could always go east instead of southwest kind of thing.
Let me know too, because like I said, my family's down that way. So is my wife's family. We're both from the area, so maybe we can make something work when you're in the area.
Sounds great.
Sounds good.
Looking forward to it. Thanks,
Jared.
for
your time.
All right. Thank you, guys. God bless.
You bet. Well, Daryl, I don't know about you, but now that all of that Canadian Nationals coverage is up that Jared's put up there, and after talking with him, and just like, he's just such a nice, down-to-earth guy, got lots of good ideas, and I really do think another roundtable would be good. But first of all, I want to sit down and see all that Canadian Nationals coverage. We got to see some of it in person. Like, we saw the final throws by Rebecca and Paige and Chantel and everyone who came through on the FPO.
Yeah.
And we got to see the final of the MPO, but we don't know how it got there.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And that's what I'm excited to see. And what it transitions and what it looks like on film versus what we saw in person.
And where we were standing, like, you know, on a lot of the MPO drives, we were standing halfway up the fairway off to the side, not to get in the way. But obviously Jared had great, you know, positioning, great coverage. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, fantastic. And thank you for hanging in there with us and enjoying the show. And if you did enjoy it, make sure to head over to YouTube and subscribe. Let's get both us and Canuck Hucks, if I could say that.
Easy for you to
Yeah, I've said a lot of words tonight. They're starting to jumble together. Let's get Chain Out
judge
and
me
Canuck
for pausing and not
Hucks
saying and not saying something right.
up to 500 subscribers. We'll get that giveaway going for you. We need 35 more, so it's not too far. We can make that happen. And don't forget, we've also got some sweet discount codes for you. We've got 10% off at BR Disc Golf, at Cardinal Disc Golf. When you use the code CHAINOUT, you can use the code CHAINOUT at Chains, the disc golf board game. Get 25% off there, and you can use COP15 and get yourself 15% off at Goat Towel, the greatest of all towels. Support those guys. They are awesome as well. And if you want to support us further, we've always got our Patreon. You can join at any level, including free. If you join at a paid side, you'll get, well, a lot of our paid people are going to be getting one of these minis, as well as
minis.
The new minis. And you always get free entry into all of our draws.
Yeah.
And then I think people should stick around a bit. Hey, Daryl, why are they going to stick around?
Sam's got the right idea. Time to go make 35 YouTube accounts so he can win some stuff.
Hey, you do you. We will not tell you how to best
exactly
make your decisions.
Hey, we don't care where the accounts come from.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if they show up, they show up. Yeah. What do you want me to say?
Well, I just wonder what's coming up next.
Well, we're going to be heading over to Around the Basket, of course.
Yeah.
We say about 15 minutes after Chain Out finishes. Might not be 15 minutes tonight. We're going to be heading over there on our Patreon. We're going to be talking DGPT match play.
Yes. And if we've got time, I wouldn't mind talking a little bit about the A-tiers now that they've been announced for Canada for 2026
Canadian A-tiers. We might get on that topic as well.
If we run out of time on that, we'll just do it next week. But
but
it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, we got time. We can make time.
Yeah. Well, I got a good one for us. Okay. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready. Is everybody in the chat ready?
I think
they're ready for this.
Are you ready? Are you ready for us to close this one out?
Okay. Hang on,
and thank you, everybody, for your kind comments and your questions and everything else. We always appreciate that.
Okay. So Across Ontario, the cameras roll.
Telling stories that lift the disc golf soul.
Jared's commitment makes him so devout.
That Canuck Hucks passion is what he's about.
Canada's courses, Canada's pride.
Every shot captured with heart as the guide.
And as the spotlight fades and the music rings out,
we end this night with a mighty chain out.
Thanks, everybody.